Hello and welcome to Warblog. I'm just going to give you a brief introduction idea of how the game works. I'm using this incredibly simple Battle for Sinjar scenario. I've logged in and I'm going to press the play now button. And I'm going to have to keep adjusting the focus, but you can see it's pretty much what you saw before, but you get a few little extra details on the side here. I think that's bear in mind is that at the moment there's still a few bugs and things, mainly to do with features that aren't in play yet. And you can see here, central focus here is the artillery piece up on the mountain. I mean, essentially, I've only just put in the ranged artillery rules, so we can actually start firing on that. But there are little things. For example, on the first turn, a lot of these units might not actually have any movement. He's got 3 movement points left. You can see this unit here, Kurds Battalion Infantry, has 0 movement points on the first turn. That's a bit of a bug just because of the way it gets set up. Once you get past the first turn, it's okay. This guy has 1 move left. This guy has 1 move left. So there's 2 units in this stack. Now we can click on it and it will show us the next one down. You can see this one has 3 units, and the one below it has one move. Anyway, not to worry about all that. So to move, you just move the unit. 3 movements on this, so 1, 2. You've got to move it hex by hex, and every time it does that, it communicates with the server. So you do have to be perhaps a little patient. So now there's a mouse over. Now I've just moved that guy, but there's no mouse over. That's another little bug that needs to be sorted out. If you're desperate to see the current status, you just press reload and refocus the page, and you will then have the mouse over for that unit. And it shows you that he's in Kurds, Pesh, Infantry, 5p, 0 movement. That little mouse over will probably be expanded on in time. It's not really integral to the gameplay, but I use it. So you can move the units about, as I've just sort of demonstrated there. Now, what we're not seeing on here is that's strange. I've made some changes and clearly you can't see the maybe it's because it's been moved, but you can't see the A10 carry out an airstrike on that. Anyway, let's just do some artillery fire here. Or not. Yeah. Now, this is the battle interface, and it's pretty poor at the moment, clearly. And the icons are pretty small as well. This is mainly because in the situation where you have large stacks. Like I say, there's a lot under development at the moment. But I have no units in the surrounding hexes, but I have my little artillery piece who's sort of down here. So I can click on that. Now I've got 4 artillery. He's got 6 units. In urban, it's going to be 12 or 18. I don't know what. But because I've also got nothing in the surrounding hexes, my factor is down by 10% as well. Basically, if I had units here, it would be equal. If I had 2 units, I would have a plus 10%. It's basically 0.1, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, whatever your factors are. So if you just completely surround them, you get 1.6 times your factors. It's basically standard wargaming factors, 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 2 to 1. things like that. So anyway, I'm going to now attack. Okay, little buttons down here. It's all quite sort of rudimentary at the moment. You get the stuff at the top, which is for me. Now that, so I can interpret, that came up as a it was a 3.6 attack versus 18, which is a 1 to 4, and it does a random factor of 1 to 12. So, and I got a 9, which was an attacker eliminated, but because I'm artillery, I can't be eliminated. So the bottom line is, we go back to the game here. Now I've just spent that artillery round going into here. Now, essentially, I'm still working on game balance on these things, but you have to sit there for a hell of a long time with that artillery on the worst factors, 1 to 4, to do any damage. At the moment, the way damage is done, it's worked out using what I'm calling depression factors. And so if I had got that, I would have caused them some depression. Now, I could sit there for a long time doing that. Let's just get on to the next turn. So let's suppose I've finished this turn. I can end the turn, and then the little units down here, we can now see that the ISIS units are now in play, and we can move them. Now, the thing is, these games are not really designed to be competitive. They're really designed to sort of to give you a bit of an idea of what's going on. The more you sit there looking at this Sinjar scenario, the more you actually understand about the Sinjar scenario and asking little questions. I mean, basically, the ISIS don't really have anything to do. You know, the ISIS turn is to just sit there. Now, one rule that will be coming into play later is if you sit there and don't do anything, you will automatically be considered to be dug in, which give you a factor. I'm thinking 0.5, so 1.5 your strength. So just sitting there is actually a pretty good game move. But anyway, so that's their turn. So you end the turn here. Now, currently at the moment, it is, now so you can see the A10 is now available. It wasn't available, just that little glitch on the first turn. It doesn't really actually, it's not actually a bad thing, because it just makes it out the first turn that some of the units might have already been moved. It's just something that we've set up. It's not a bug that continues. You don't find units suddenly having not got any of their movement. But anyway, just to give you an idea, basically air power works exactly the same way. So I'm going to give an airstrike on there. If I had multiple airplanes, I could line them all up. I'm currently working on air defense, so it's pretty simple. I'm trying to keep everything really simple, so there's no extra factors or sort of, that's all my nonsense up there. Now, just to give you an idea, that was, to be quite honest, the air power is pretty hefty. That was 10 versus 18. So that gave me, because the air factors are doubled, now I'm going to have to, don't worry about the maths here. Basically, they got a 1-to-1 attack. They rolled a 3, which gave them a defender retreat. As you can see, the defender has retreated. So we go back to the game here. As you can see, my airstrike has basically caused the ISIS to retreat from Sinjar, which I don't think is actually particularly realistic. So clearly, I've got some things to balance out with regards to things like airstrikes, especially in comparison to how feeble the artillery was. So anyway, it came up with a 1-to-1. To be quite honest, I think that's actually wrong. I'll just have to look into that. But anyway, so get an airstrike and ISIS had to run away. Now what you'll notice is that they've now got 3 depression factors. That will actually affect their ability to fight, etc. in the future, by putting them down 30% of whatever factors that they've got. Now, if I was to be playing this properly, I would maybe now move my unit here into Sinjar, and it's game over, really. And to be quite honest, I think I will. So I can move into there. I'm going to try and outflank them down here. Now, I'm not sure I'll be able to move again. Yeah, you can only move to start pushing this down here. The artillery has already moved. Oh, he still seems to have 3 movement points. Yeah, that's the last turn, so I've moved him now. I'm going to end the turn up there, unless I can get any artillery onto that. So I know my artillery's moved. So you can see I've got the units, but I've not got any movement to actually fire. So I end that turn. So what I'm trying to communicate here is really simple. I'm not trying to create a game where you sort of have to go in and worry about this or worry about that. You just move the factors, you just move the little hexes around. So there are some things where I like, well, for example, I'd like to do bridge laying, but it's actually quite difficult. How do you do, if this road was a river, how would I suddenly sort of move this unit to build a road across, between these two hexes? Some things are going to be a little more challenging, and basically if the option is to make it simpler versus more complex, I'll go for simpler. So if it means not having bridge laying, then that's just tough. But if I can somehow figure out a mechanism to make these things simple, so you just sit there, you're just moving things around. Now ISIS probably want to take Sinjar back. Let's just, they probably wouldn't. I mean, basically the ISIS units ran away. They're heavily outnumbered. They're going to try and attack a town here. They're going to get a 1-4 probably. Yeah, 1-4. They rolled a 2, which means the attacker retreats. See all my nonsense there. Back to the game. Although it's sort of not really a sort of, oh, look at this. The fantastic thing is they actually retreat. Not, I wouldn't say sensibly, but they, for example, he didn't retreat into Sinjar. He didn't retreat into an enemy occupied hex. The retreat factors are all sort of pretty much in play. So now, looking at this, now they should have up their depression for a failed attack, but that's something that probably hasn't been written in yet. So ISIS tried to attack Sinjar, which was there. They were there. They retreated to here. They've got no movement left, and they're on depression factors of 3, which is what they were on before. So that their failed attack didn't knock their depression up, which is against a little one. So end the turn. I mean, there's not much more really to sort of say about this. As you've got lots of movement. I can do a combined attack here with artillery and infantry. So I'm going to do that. It was a 2-1. I got 11, which was an exchange, which was pretty unfortunate for the Kurds. So we go back to the game now and look at the results of the exchange. The depression factors for ISIS have gone up to 4, from 3 to 4. It's just a case of when I did the attack and retreat, the maths isn't there yet. Yeah, it should be. So I just have to go in and sort of add that. But also you can see that this unit now has a depression factor of 1 towards the end there. So I mean, essentially after a while this unit will become so whittled down because it's now at 60% of its effective value. It's in the open. I mean, let's face it, we've got some air power here, which is probably going to work. So attack that. That was a 2-1. I got a 4. The defender had to retreat. So back to the game, and the defender retreated somewhere again sensibly. Didn't retreat into the enemy hex. I know it's not really a sales point, but and now they've got depression factor of 7. So they're pretty much sort of worth nothing now. I could probably take them out with any unit if I had some movement, but I don't have much time left. So what I'm going to do is just give me a quick idea of Warblog. It's under development at the moment, so you can get it at a cheaper rate, and you play with little bugs, and hopefully you work them out. And but over time, I hopefully maybe hope this will sort of pick up and be something that people that are looking for proper old school type war games can find, because you can't find anything like this on the internet. I've got 6 seconds left, so I'll leave it at that.